What's up, y'all? I'm your girl Yolanda, and I come to you tonight to spit a little knowledge to simplify some things. Today, we're going to get into the nitty gritty. I know y'all been waiting on me, y'all been asking about this next class. I've been procrastinating, I've been busy. So, tonight, we just going to get all into it all at one time. So, let me introduce myself for those that don't know me. I'm a female truck driver. My experience runs 7 years legal, few years illegal before that. Flatbed, van, cement truck. I've done it all. Hot shot. I'm gonna in between these videos, also I'm gonna end up posting some videos where I actually probably go out and do some loads. But tonight we're gonna get into this class material we've been waiting on. Everybody. So y'all get y'all notebooks, get y'all pens, get y'all paper, and just get ready to take notes. Now everything pertaining to tonight, because I'm not gonna be able to do it all in one video. And I am gonna do a lot of verbatim. That's just so I can stay on structure myself. But I'm not gonna be able to do it all in one video, y'all. And I'm gonna give y'all a lot of the information that's been in that class. This is the information that's been in the class that you've been waiting on. It really is. This the information. I don't know how far we're gonna get, how deep we're gonna get into it, and it's still gonna be for sale on the website. It's something going on with the website right now. I've been trying to get to the bottom of that all day. So y'all give me some time if y'all been trying to go on the website. But I don't know how deep we're gonna get into it. But I'm gonna give you enough information to where you can put some stuff together and you can get started and you can see what I'm talking about. I just couldn't know what I know in the industry for the ones that's been waiting on me for the longest. I just couldn't. I couldn't just. I couldn't do it like I couldn't do it like that. I just couldn't, and you'll see why in the long run. Tonight, let me get myself together, y'all. Cause tonight we're gonna talk about what we need to talk about. Now, what I'm gonna break down tonight is gonna be pertaining to building your own business. You know what I'm saying? For the ones that want always, we need everybody need a way out. But cause when I get into the actually dispatching, I want you to understand what I'm talking about tonight is not for the ones that already have trucks that to dispatch. And when I say that, because a lot of people have loved ones that already have trucks that's and you just want to learn how to dispatch. You really don't have to go by building your own business. You don't have to worry about nothing like that. You really just need to come in when it come down to the understanding the industry and the safety weight and understanding the load boards. That'll be your forte. And when you come back in, you don't have to you don't have to understand the building the business and the finding the clients and stuff like that. Um, so let me get into a lot of what I've been holding back on and what's in that package that we that's on the program. Cause let me get cause those that know me know this camera is really not me. But we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work, y'all. So let's get into it. And when I say I'm gonna go with ABC, a lot of stuff is gonna be ABC, but for the ones that don't need it, don't mind it. It's not for you. Like everything ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might actually do music. It's like it's a thousand different ways that you can make money when it comes to this trucking industry. This is just one of the easier ways to enter into the industry. Besides getting your CDL license. My last client, he ready to go to class now. I'm kind of excited. I'm gonna post him too. But this is the stuff that's in that manual. Introduction to foundation mindset. This is some of the stuff we're going to discuss tonight. The discipline, home-based independent dispatcher, careers in being a bona fide freight agent, knowing your position and the new FMCSA regulations, effective communication, listening versus listening skills, growing your business plan, the importance of branding. I think we're gonna probably stop at listening versus listening skills tonight. But in the whole package is the importance of branding, just marketing yourself, and the importance of marketing yourself, building your home office, understanding the industry, safety, weight, size, length, laws, and regulations, hours of service laws and regulations, the commitment to diversity, the operation and new FMCS laws. I'll say here, but it's probably it is. Finding clients, profile package, signing clients on, understanding load boards and subscriptions, finding loads in your niche, negotiating with brokers, dispatching clients and how to get paid, trucking terminology, dispatching terminology, and just the bonus on the over the road slang and like a lot of the CV codes. And of course, an example of your carrier on dispatch and your broker carrier documents. This right here, I want you to take serious. I want all y'all to take serious because this is my disclaimer. Seriously, because I don't want nobody coming back saying she said this, that, and the third. Because at the end of the day, first of all, I'm a truck driver. I'm a truck driver first. I just seen a lot of nonsense going on, a lot of scamming going on. I seen a way out, and hey, actually, I'm trying to do something else. That's why I need to go ahead and get all of this and lay it out to you, for real. Because I'm like, I ain't exhausted with trucking, but I see some other stuff going on where I don't have to be so involved. And me putting this information out to you in the long run is just it's collective information. That's what it is. That's what everybody be selling. They be, you know what I'm saying, they just get the information, it be collective information. I've been through it. I bought a package that I actually didn't get at all. I was gonna get a program from a lady, and she actually gonna put me in her program. Told me she was gonna save me a spot, and I told her I had been educating myself and stuff, and she ended up telling me that I was competition. So I just need y'all to understand what's with, you know what I'm saying, ABC and verbatim. Disclaimer: I am not a lawyer. I am not part of any CPAs. Also seek professional help with opening your home business. I am not part of any tax preparers. Also seek professional help with your tax questions for your home business. I make every effort to ensure that I accurately represent the products and service for potential income. There is no guarantee that you will make these levels of income, and you accept the risk that the earnings and income statements differ by individual. Individual. As with any business, your results may vary and will be based on your individual capability, business desire, dedication, and motivation. I cannot be liable for any success or failure of your business. The use of this information, products, and services was gathered for educational and introduction into the trucking industry purposes only. This product should be based and used at your own due diligence and individual desires. This material contains or may contain forward-looking statements within the meaning of Section 27A of the Securities Act of 1933 and Section 21B of Securities Exchange Act of 1934. Basically, I'm not promising you anything. I'm not asking you for anything. And that's it. Like and subscribe. That's what I'm asking you for. Period. And that's free. But yeah, no tax questions, not me. That's not my specialty. Like, it's just not. I want you to understand it. Come back with your whatever you want to come back with. Introduction. Sessions are aimed to familiarize you with how to operate a home office, from office supplies to negotiations. We enlighten on structuring your home office business. At Legends, we are uniquely equipped to show clients how to legally find drivers and dispatch freight properly. We embrace attributes that promote positiveness in an unjudgmental environment. Legends Dispatching was created by a Class A truck driver to help bridge new dispatchers with an educated um, impact into the industry. Primary goals. The primary goals are to train our clients to make sure that transferring into the industry can be done seamlessly so that time is not lost in the transition. To train you with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration guidelines, with updated laws, and to equip you strategically on how to run a freight dispatch company from your home office. Basically, I ain't gonna promise you nothing, but I'm gonna show you the steps. I'm gonna show you how to do it. I can't promise you nothing. I ain't trying to promise you nothing. I don't want to be bothered with promising you nothing. But I'm gonna show you how to do it. I'm gonna educate you on. I'm gonna open your eye. I'm gonna enlighten you on like what's being done. Um, Foundation mindset. Starting and operating a business is not always an easy task. Distractions may arise. Even overcoming procrastinations can be a real hindrance. Lack of determination, regardless of what's surrounding your organization, can grow or close your business overnight. You are entering an extremely competitive industry that will see your inexperience a mile away. Remember, let your knowledge speak whenever possible. When talking a language that's universal to the industry, one will hear you out versus you not knowing what's going on top of rising fuel costs and increasing insurance claims, which are the two most known reasons drivers feel the need to not need dispatchers or to pay for services that they can't accomplish themselves. So basically, I'm telling you to learn the language, not just the language of dispatching. I need you to learn the language of trucking. Because just in a conversation, a truck driver will know how long you've been in the industry. They're gonna know how long. It's gonna be obvious. They might listen to you. They might not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be known if you've been around, where you've been around. Sometimes, depending on who you're talking to, how many times you've been around. Because you got someone, they know every mile marker it is. They know when this was built, when that was built in every state, and they was there. So it's just what they do. Um, as a dispatcher, I'm gonna show you a whole lot of stuff that you've never thought about that you'll see. I'm gonna drop some videos. I got a video I need to drop. I got to figure out how I'm gonna get it. Um, like I need it. I'm having difficulties with it. But okay, here we go. Foundation mindset. As a truck driver, the most common statement heard is how brokers and dispatchers can't move the truck but feel so entitled to their fees. How is so many Ooh, I had to laugh, baby. How is so many dispatchers that don't know or understand the trucking world at all? The best way to try to bridge this gap is to try to initiate a ride along. Ask drivers or trucker you know to allow you to take a few trips with them so you can get a full picture of what the driver day-to-day operations are like. This is the first thing you need to do if you want to go into dispatching. Find you a driver, and I'm gonna tell you ways for you to find drivers if you don't know no drivers. Um, But find you a driver that you can and I don't even know if that's safe no more, just to think about it. But try to find you somebody that you know with a truck. It ain't hard. A lot of people got trucks. And just see if you can ride along with them just to see what's going on. I'm gonna drop a video in the next couple of days. What I'm gonna call it? I'm gonna call it, it's gonna be titled y'all think we on the drive. We do more than drive. So y'all think so it's gonna be something about y'all think we on the drive because you ain't gonna believe how I had to jump up on that landing gear at times in order to get that trailer. But yes, try to get in the truck with a driver before you go into dispatching and you can see what the driver actually go through from the time they get the load to the time they get the load delivered. Like, excuse me, and trust me, the last thing you're gonna say is all they do is drive. That'll be one of the last things you say. But okay, as the driver truck, to allow you. This gives you an insight of the physical labor the driver put in per stop. Not to mention the time it takes if something go wrong securing or strapping the load. If it's in a flatbed trailer, the driver will have to tarp, chain, bind, and properly secure loads by hand. And them tarps be heavy. When I say they be heavy, don't be nowhere where you can't top on their property. You got to top in the sun or in the wind while the wind blowing. It might take 15, 30 minutes to top a load. The understanding a dispatcher can get from firsthand experience riding with a driver will give them clear insight on how and why to book loads that fit the driver's profile. A lot of dispatchers study the skills and do good in the field, but drivers just aren't quick to have open arms to those outside of the industry. Initially, I say that, not at first, because you know what I'm saying. You can't take a skill from people, and at the end of the day, the bottom line is everybody want to eat. Everybody trying to get their money. So a lot of them don't care where your skills come from. As long as you got some loads that's moving, hey, we finna go, and that's just how it goes. Studying don't show hands on and can never give you the whole deep dive of the obstacles the driver see. So never make your driver feel pressure or force dispatch by any means. Being underhanded, slick as oil won't get it. Believe the carrier gonna pick up on it. Dispatching is one of the few doors in the trucking industry that stay wide open for opportunity. If you know the correct approach. Don't blow the opportunity, grow it. With that being said, I mean, if you find a driver once you build your business or as you building your business, or even if you got a family member and your family member allowing you to dispatch their loads properly, learn how to properly dispatch their loads because that's how they eat and that's how you gonna eat. And if you ain't doing it right, they gonna be out there in the field and they gonna hear stuff. They gonna run into other people and they gonna want to try other stuff. So you learn how to do what need to be done. You know what I'm saying? Stay on one accord with your driver and not try to bump heads with your driver. Because at the end of the day, your driver, them license gonna speak for your driver. Your driver gonna find another job probably quicker than you'll find another driver. A good one anyway. Sometimes. So, with that being said, yeah, I'm moving along good. Okay, foundation mindset. There are two types of dispatchers or agents, as some dispatchers are called. And I say that because you'll hear that a lot too. You won't hear dispatchers, you'll hear agents, you'll hear freight agents. In a lot of places, your dispatchers, they they act as supervisors on company jobs. And I'm telling you a lot of stuff because you need to know when you building a dispatching for the ones that's going to build a company and have drivers under them. When you building a dispatching company, you need to understand that, and you're going to see that you actually work for the driver. But you need to understand on the approach, you need to understand some of the stuff your driver has been through before they got to the level where they have their own truck, they have their own authority, that they are able to hire someone to work for them. because you're gonna be dealing with some people that's gonna make you just want to say, uh, "Is it really worth it?" And they're gonna know it's a difference when you've been in that truck and when you ain't. You got to, I mean, you just got to respect that. You ain't gonna make your money without me, but I can't make my money without you. But hey, I got a skill. You know what I'm saying? You got a skill too, but hey, you got to know what to do. And you ain't gonna do that without this commodity being moved from A to B. It's just not. So you got to keep a foundation mindset. There are two types of dispatchers, trained and experienced. Trained dispatchers are taught. Everything they know about dispatching was told and taught to them. They gain experience without firsthand knowledge. They usually become very good at dispatching, but could never totally understand the obstacles of the industry when the driver is in the field. These are the dispatchers that really work for their checks and rarely the driver benefits. And when I say that, I mean they don't care nothing about what the driver got going on, the driver time, none of that. They just want they don't care nothing about and you gonna see in that video I dropped. I just went through this with a company. Want to make me an over the road driver when I'm really a local driver. Just because you got me in a sleeper don't mean that you can put me in positions where I run out of time. And I'm not that type of driver. But building your own company, you're gonna be working for a lot of owner ops. That's what you're gonna work for. You're gonna work for owner ops, and your owner ops gonna want to stay out there. And your job is gonna be to keep them out there. So you're gonna know the difference between a trained dispatcher and an experienced dispatcher. Experienced dispatchers are the ones that have been in the driver's seat. They are the retired or injured truck drivers that, for one reason or another, can or will not put their CDLs to use. They know firsthand what the drivers see. These dispatchers are usually the cornerstone of businesses. They are very lax and goal driven. Experienced dispatchers tend to have a better understanding when problems arise and the driver's home time and of the driver's home time. And that's only because they've been in their seat. These are the ones that been coast to coast. No air shoe. I had a driver say he seen when before Vegas was built up, and it was $40 and $50 an acre. Like mad because he didn't invest. Like you got people that's all they know, and that's one thing about dispatching. You got a lot of drivers out there. Um, that's all they know how to do is drive. They know how to, some know how to find these lows, but this all they know how to do is drive. So you learning the skill to run the back office can really like be hand in hand with something somebody else really do need in order to make their business run. Legends' goal is to groom dispatchers that tote an experienced, trained mindset. Being trained by a first-hand experience will open insights that only a truck driver mindset could foresee. To totally understand dispatching is to fully have your mindset right and free of any outside distractions. Just like driving a truck, one mistake can cost you your career. It might not cost you your career, but it might cost you a driver. Because the driver ain't gonna sit up and keep playing with you about their money and how they eat and how they run their truck. No, they ain't gonna do it. I promise you. They'll do it themselves. That's the purpose. You got to give yourself a reason to be needed. Like what he needs you for when he can do it. Plenty of them, they do it themselves. Just so they won't have to pay nobody. You got drives and you got to learn. You're gonna learn that when they go to breaking down your percentage and stuff and actually molding yourself where you are needed because you got people out here where this you want to build a company from home and you trying to dispatch for drivers from your house. So you want to make that money, but you got drivers, and you're gonna learn that you're making your money by percentage, roughly 8 to 10% on a income base here. But you got drivers across seas and working for a lot of big companies, and they working for 3 and 4%, like in real life. So you got drivers when they hear about stuff like that and they get their hands on those type of dispatch, you like what what that ain't that ain't worth my that ain't worth half the education that I put into talking about what I pay for a board. No. So you just got to know, what I'm saying, how to do what you need to do in order to get what you need to get done. It's the way to get it done. To fully understand dispatching is to fully understand, is to fully have your mindset right and free of any distraction, just like driving a truck. One mistake can cost you your career. Discipline. Trucking is a whole different ball field. The government write the rules for the drivers to follow to do their jobs. You're gonna learn that every rule that we follow is bottom line is just law. Basically, it's law. This content is significant with systematic cause and discipline. Meaning, if you put the system to work and have discipline doing it, you will have mastered the skill of freight dispatching. Be sure to set aside time dedicated to meditating in information pertaining to the industry and market you serve. Having discipline to rid yourself of distractions will be the main ingredient to having a successful dispatching company. Realistically speaking, dispatching is not in the best place right now in the industry, but it is a skill and can be useful. Before deciding to start any home based business, be honest with yourself. Are you emotionally and financially ready for such a move? Be sure to be able to pay your bills and compensate benefits while you build your business. That's just like I tell the people going to get their truck drive license. Have you something to sit back on. And when I say the industry is not, too dry. When I say the industry is not in the best place right now, I meant that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna sugarcoat. I ain't here for that. I'm here to just show you how to put the skill to work. Basically, same thing I tell people want to learn how to drive trucks. Going to school only get you your license. You get your experience once you get in the truck. That's when you really start getting your experience. Going to school only give you the permit to drive the truck legally on the road. Being a home-based independent dispatcher. Dispatchers have a great deal of patience. They have to. When I say they have to, you have people is by law now they changed the law. We're gonna learn that further along. But you used to have as a dispatcher, you used to have 9, 10, 12, 13 drivers at one time. Dispatchers still do that at companies, but independent dispatchers, that's what we're going to discuss in the updated laws. That's part of the new updated laws. They just put a cap on how many and how independent dispatchers run trucks in like the regions, how many regions they can run in. So people seem to think the concept is easy. Find a truck, locate the freight, and submit paperwork. But anybody that know about trucking, they think that part, like all they do is find trucks. Just like they think all we do is drive trucks. However, finding loads that are profitable rate can be like pulling teeth and time consuming. We're gonna learn about all of that because we're gonna actually later on another day we're gonna actually go through how we use the load board, and I'm gonna go through the load board with y'all and find the loads, and what I'm saying, we're gonna do all that, all work together. We're gonna go through all that together. So y'all gonna have to keep on. From experience, this industry is not for the weak. No, it is not. Dispatchers need to know the lines to negotiate right, know how to find insights on how much the area of the freight is picking up out of and delivering to. They have to master how not to let the broker talk them out of their underclothes while they accept cheap freight. Good dispatchers master negotiations without being argumentative. They disagree respectfully and keep it moving. They make it look easy, but keep a variety of duties to accomplish at one time. And this are a lot of stuff that the dispatchers have to do. Dispatchers are the point of contact for carriers. They sign and store the documents. That's your job, to find the loads and to sign and store the documents. To make sure the documents are signed so everybody get paid. The dispatchers negotiate rates directly with the brokers. They understand how to coordinate and plan routes. They track carrier hours and equipment availability. Monitor weather for trip planning. I can name a few more, but you get the picture. You get the picture that the dispatcher job, basically a lot of time as a dispatcher, you the first contact of the driver, because you working for owner operators. So on the op, the dispatcher is like you, like they almost, you they second hand. You they 911. Now down to the trip planning and the planning ahead, that depends on what type of driver you dealing with. That depends on, you have to know your driver. And we're gonna get into that when we further on, when we get into the questions and stuff you wanna ask, and you know what I'm saying, about getting to know your driver and not getting too personal, but asking a few, you know what I'm saying, like knowing them but not getting too deep off into they personal life, in order for you to be able to plan. Because you're gonna have to, you wanna keep them making money. You got to keep them, you got to keep your drivers with loads. So you need to be able to coordinate and plan ahead. But a lot of seasoned drivers and older drivers, which that's a good target market to go into too. But a lot of seasoned drivers ain't gonna be talking about planning a route. Mm-mm. You ain't gonna tell them what to do with their truck. Period. No kind of way. No kind of way. You can give them that load number. You give them that load number, that PO number. That's what you can do. You give them that load number, that PO number, and you can let them know how to get that paperwork back to you, so they can get their money and you can get yours. But talking about planning a trip, you got to know, and I'm just gonna be real with you because that's the only thing I'm gonna know how to do. You got to know, and while I'm talking, that's that I need to remember that too, because that's the only thing I want you to do is to subscribe. Because if you into dispatching and this what you want to do, I'm quite sure you're gonna get something, you're gonna carry something with you out of this video. And that's all I want you to do, is to get something from this video. And while you get something from this video, it ain't gonna kill you to subscribe and to like the video, because it's free. Plain and simple. Only way you're gonna pay for something if you want to. And I'm gonna figure out how to put my little cash app down now, just in case you do want to be a blessing, to be a blessing, because it's always good. It's always a blessing to be a blessing over here. But yes, I want you to understand what your duties are. I want you to understand that I'm giving y'all this information, like this is the information that's been in the class, but I haven't did a class in a few weeks. I did have went back out and jumped in the truck, so I'm gonna have to get updated with some stuff too. Um, Hopefully not before I end this video. And we got a little bit more time. Okay, so these are some websites. This how I'm gonna break down to y'all how y'all find a lot of the information. Let's talk a little bit about independent dispatchers and how they are looked at in the industry. This how the truck drivers gonna look at you, the people that you working for in the government. FMCSA labeled dispatchers as bona fide agents. They just changed this recently. The FMCSA, of course, that is the government that we all work for. Issue updated intern guidance as of November 16, 2022, to clearly distinguish the roles between bona fide agents and brokers. as it relates to all brokers of transportation by commercial motor vehicle, cited by the Code Federal Regulations. ECFR.gov. That's the website. This is the website. I don't know if I can share that with you guys. Also, let me see. Um, I don't know. But you can go to the website. This is the website. This gonna be your best friend going into dispatching. This gonna be your best friend. It's gonna be all the code of federal regulation. Um, this gonna be the difference between a broker and a dispatcher. A dispatcher. The jobs difference because it was just real friction, and it's still real friction in the industry with the brokers and the drivers. But okay, let's get through this. According to the Code of Federal Regulations, National Archives, www.ecfr.gov, Title 49371.2, definitions. Hmm. I'm sorry, y'all. I was talking to one of my moderators, and I was trying to do. Okay, I was trying to. One of my moderators was telling me so something I was doing wrong, but we had to work that out because y'all already know this camera ain't me, and we're gonna get it together. That's why I'm trying to get y'all the information out here so we can just smooth it out. But yeah, come by here and do that. Like whenever. Just let me know. I'm here. Yeah, tomorrow. Broker mean a person who for compensation arranges or offers to arrange the transportation of property by an authorized motor carrier. Motor carriers are persons who are employees or bona fide agents of carriers, are not brokers within the meaning of this section. When they arrange or offer to arrange the transportation of shipments which they are authorized to transport and which they have accepted and legally bond themselves to transport. Bona fide agents are persons who are part of the normal organizations or of a motor carrier and perform their duties under the carrier's directions, pursuant to a pre-existing agreement which provides for the continuing relationship, precluding the exercise of discretion on the part of the agent in allocating traffic between the carriers and others. That's you. Brokerage or brokerage service is the arranging of transportation or the physical movements of a motor vehicle or of property. It can be performed on behalf of a motor carrier, cosigner, or co-signee. Non-brokerage service is all other service performed by a broker on behalf of a motor carrier, cosigner, or co-signee. This is what you're going to have to understand the difference. when you running your business. The difference between you being a dispatcher, a bona fide agent, and the difference between a broker. A broker has a bond, and a broker does business with the shipper. A broker is who signs the driver's check. That's who you negotiate with. We're gonna go through all of that when you run an independent business. If you're working for somebody that you know, or just finding loads working with somebody that you still have to work with a broker. You just don't have to worry about crossing the line. What truck drivers really think about independent dispatchers? And the ones that live with these truck drivers, they already know that. The ones that just want to learn the skill, like I know y'all hear stories, cause whew, I got so many. But most owner operators look at all dispatchers as cheaters and liars if they are not close family members. And I'm just being honest. Being open and honest about the business you do and transparent about the rate cons are major factors in growing your dispatching company. You are known as a bottleneck in a lot of drivers' eyes. Even company drivers have problems with dishonest dispatchers. We're gonna like all of that gonna come out within this channel. Probably not today, but it's gonna be some videos that I probably put out that just like it be a lot of friction between the drivers and the dispatchers because the dispatchers they just feel like they can tell the driver whatever they want to tell the driver and whatever they say is law. When at the end of the day, the only thing the dispatcher want to do is push that load. Long as the dispatcher running it, uh-oh, running that computer, then hey, that's all they doing. They worry about that load. So it's a lot of friction between the drivers and the dispatchers, like a lot of friction. And that's why I take this opportunity to mold guide and to be as transparent as I can as a driver for those ones that want to come into dispatching. Like, I mean, I can't see no other way. If you can't get it from a driver, I mean, you still getting it secondhand. So, and then it was a lot of scamming. You know what I'm saying? People learn the industry and they teach it the way they learn it, or they teach it the way they can be profitable off of it, no matter what another person get off of it. So, we're gonna teach you what to do the right way and how to do it this way over here. And being open once you grow your business, being open with your driver, whether good or bad, they're gonna take you a long way. Like they're gonna grow you a lot of respect with your driver, and it's gonna allow your driver to deal with you a lot longer. You know what I'm saying? You might have a bad time. You might have a down season because everything don't be sweet all the time like people think it be over here in the driver world. So you might be a time where you need that driver to be on your team versus letting you go and going to find somebody else that can move stuff a little smoother than you can because they got a little bit more resources than you have or got a little bit more knowledge or got a little bit more chain links because a lot of people do stuff by word of mouth and who they know in this industry. Everything is about who you know when it comes to moving these loads a lot of times. So be open with your driver at all times. Because you already got a bad name. Like, yo, I'm just being honest. If you know anything about dispatching, you're trying to know anything about dispatching, look that up. Driver versus dispatchers, because dispatchers have a bad name with drivers. So if you're going into this, especially when you grow as a company and get to know your drivers, you know what I'm saying? Get to work with new drivers, you know what I'm saying? Be known as a person that's honest. Because a lot of company, even company drivers, like I said, have problems with being dishonest and being looked at as the problem. The best solution found is to offer what most owners don't think to offer themselves: education and honesty. A lot of owner operators don't care to educate themselves in the business. So you educate yourself in the business, and that allow you to educate them, and that actually give them a reason to need to keep you around and want to keep you around. Education is understanding the business side of the industry. Continuous education is one department within your business that you never want to lack nourishment. Never tell a driver how to drive his or her truck. That is the quickest way to get fired. But trust, when or if a driver find a dispatcher slash agent that knows the lingo, understand the numbers of the truck, don't micromanage, and have common sense under stressful situations, that it's gonna be hard to depart. So I thought I just said, know what you're doing, know what you're talking about, know how to handle situation when stuff come up. It's gonna be hard to, like, they're gonna keep you on regardless. Some things just seem unheard of in this industry. Remember, you speak for the driver. So change start with you. You're gonna learn that. This is what you're learning from a driver. This stuff right here is the stuff nobody else gonna tell you. Period. Don't micromanage them people. Mm-mm. Once you give them their loads and stuff, nobody needs you calling them no every hour on hour. Like it's suggested. No, I got tools where I'm gonna actually show you how to use these tools, and you're gonna have to like invest in yourself in order for your business to run like your competition business. That's the stuff you're gonna get from dealing with a driver. I got ways to show you where you can track your load. Once your driver get your load, you track your load, and you don't worry about that load until he get ready. That load come up off of him, and you're gonna see that load come up off of him because he already tracking that load. Once that load come up off of him, hey, that's when you calling him. Hey, you all right? You need anything? You know what I'm saying? You ready for this, that, and the third. Other than that, like it's always recommended in the dispatching where you track your load, you call your driver every hour, on the hour, every other hour. Mm-mm. No, drivers gonna be they gonna give you some a reason to call them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on work with that. You know what I'm saying? Them new drivers and stuff, but they don't. Not unless something going on. They most of the time, hey, they're gonna take care of things because that's the way they're gonna keep it rolling. That's the way they pay for their truck. And their truck is their house, their home away from home. So you can't tell a person how to run their house. As an independent dispatcher, you want to work on building stability and consistency for your carriers. Understand that drivers must have a strong sense of mental strength. Some, for weeks at a time, are away from their families. Most drivers just want to drive and keep as much cost down as possible, but don't educate in the business. Do not cheat your drivers. Do not play dirty games. Trust, it will backfire. Instead, build your company to be an asset, and in return, you and your driver will survive a lasting relationship. Dispatchers work for the carriers. Carriers get paid from the broker, then pay the dispatcher. Brokers get paid from the shipper. The shipper is the customer that needs the product transported. Did you get that? Did you get that? Let's write that down. This is how the cycle is ran. The shipper is the person that need it's the department store. It's the person that actually need they merchandise delivered. That's who stuff gonna be on the back of the trailer. The shipper. The shipper pay the broker to get the commodity transported. The broker the broker has a bond and an authority clearance. The broker has a bond and authority clearance from the government, from the FMCSA. That's the difference between the broker and the dispatcher. A dispatcher do not have authority, cannot get an authority. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the FMSA, they they don't want to recognize a dispatcher. That's why we're gonna get into it. We're gonna break it down and get into it. But the broker, the shipper pay the broker. You as a dispatcher, you'll never know how much the broker get, how much that load, how much it costs to move that load. Well, you will, because you're gonna see the paperwork, but you'll never get a part of that money. Never get it like you're gonna see it like that. Like, so I can make a lot of money. Yeah, you can, but you ain't gonna get it like the driver going. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gonna see it like that. Sure, like the driver ain't gonna have to see it like the broker. Okay, the broker is the middle person. The broker puts the load information on the load board, get a fee, and pay the carrier to deliver the products. The broker job is to connect the truck with the commodity for the customer. The broker works for the shipper, but the broker finds the truck driver to move the property. The carrier is the truck driver. The carrier job is to transport without damage. That's the truck driver. That's why it's the truck driver's job to secure the load. We're gonna get into all of that. And that's the reason why you can't tell the driver how to drive their truck, because you never know what go on in between them picking that load up and securing that load and getting that load to the destination. It happens all the time. The dispatcher job is to handle all communication on the carrier's behalf. The customer pays the broker. The broker or the factory company pays the carrier, and the carrier pays the dispatcher, which is his or her business service. The dispatcher invoices the carrier. You got that? Everybody want to know what is a dispatcher, what a dispatcher do, how a dispatcher get paid. Here you go. Broke down. The shipper is the store, the department store, the grocery store, whoever. The customer, you know what I'm saying? Person billing the house, whoever, they the shipper. They contact a broker. The broker get their money off the top. The broker get their money off the top. And then pay the carrier, pay the truck driver. What is a factor company? Remember we said that's how they gonna get paid, by the broker or the factory company. Factory companies are also called freight factoring companies. For those that don't know, a factoring company is a method to pay the carriers in a timely manner. Factoring help maintain cash flow by selling freight invoices to financial institutions at a discounted rate. How do they work? Factory companies work by buying the bill, then charging the carrier a percentage to cash it out, instead of the carrier waiting a standard 30 to 60 net day term. They get their funds in a matter of 24 to 48 hours, and the factory company waits to get paid. Side note, be careful with low rates. Most of them will try to lock you into a bad contract or have shady terms and fees off the top. If you have the responsibility of signing your driver up for a factory company, beware of the fine print beforehand. Read and reread it. Read it and read it again. The factory company basically is how your driver gonna get paid overnight. It's how the driver gonna have to not wait until the broker get paid, because the broker don't get paid as soon as the load is delivered. It's a cycle. It's a whole cycle behind the scene. Home-based independent dispatchers. Factory companies to consider are the ones that charge about 2.9% at the most, because you're gonna do a comparison. You ain't just gonna jump on the first factory company you find. You're gonna compare them. They typically run up to 5%. So search around and make sure you are getting a reasonable rate for present times. Be sure to research what the factor company you choose offer. Some don't have mobile apps. Dat.com, that's the largest load board community in the industry. That is brokers, carriers, and shippers friendly and factor friendly. Low X factoring. These just are sums that you can look into and you can start your comparison off with. And some we went by and we found. This is just a few. Look around and feel out what fit for your needs. Oh, non-recourse factoring companies bears the risk if the customer don't pay, and typically the reason they cost more than recourse factoring. So when you get the comparing, know the difference and ask them, is it non-recourse factoring or recourse factoring? That's something like from a driver. All this information is just, you just got to know how to apply it. That's it. And if you do want it all, like I said, if you do want it all at one time, it is available on the website. It really is. Home-based independent dispatcher. These are questions for you to ask the factory company. Ask them questions like, are you a recourse or non-recourse or recourse factoring company? What are your rates? What's your process if a shipper do not pay or file bankruptcy? Because that happens all the time. Companies file bankruptcy before the cycle of payment in and get to the truck driver for them to pay the truck. We're gonna get into all of that. Do you have a minimum factoring fee per invoice or volume requirements? These are questions you want to know before you sign on the dotted line for the factor company. Remember I said read the fine print. Do you operate on contract or month to month with your company? If a contract, what is the minimum? Ask them what's the minimum of the contract before you just see their fees and say, well, they got good fees, they fees better than the last two. See what's really going on, why they fees so low, what they really got going on. What is the contract duration that you offer? How long is the contract? What's the minimum of it and how long is it? Is there a termination fee or notice period? You need to know that. Because if there's the termination fee, you want to know how much the termination fee is. Stuff you want to know ahead of time before you get there. What time do your company cut out funding? You really need to know that. The date and time that they cut out funding. That's how you're going to get your money, by getting the driver his or her money. Is there a way that I can find out what TMS programs your company integrate with? All of them are integrated if they are cloud-based. All of them are integrated anyway. You just need to find out who they use. But just act like you want it. You asking them, is there a way for you to find out who their company integrated with? That's you using your professionalism. Is there a problem that I can, you know what I'm saying, I can find out? Or is there a problem I can find out? The integration system you use. Ask the factory company questions like, ask, do they offer fuel discounts? Most of them do. Do they offer mobile apps? Most of them do. It ain't but a few that don't offer mobile apps. Ask how much is the transaction fees per transaction. That need to be on the first set of questions. Do your due diligence. Read fine prints and ask questions before signing to any factory company. You're gonna have to do that because no driver, I'm telling you, 99.9%, they with factory companies. If they new drivers and coming in the industry, they gonna want to get with factoring companies. That's the way they gonna survive. Home-based independent dispatcher. Oh, we still got. Hmm. Let me see it. Okay. As an independent dispatching company, it's basically an independent contracting service. Your whole job is to advocate for the carrier slash owner operator. As a dispatcher, you will have to be precise in knowing how to paperwork process, how the paperwork process work in order for you to get paid. Excuse me. The less work you put in, the less profit you will be bringing in. Remember this when negotiating with brokers. Brokers work with the carrier and the shipper. That means the broker connects the truck carrier with the shipper, the freight to be delivered. Brokers get paid from the shippers on a net 30 or net 60 term, meaning shippers will wait and pay brokers invoice in 30 or 60 days. Carriers, which is the truck driver, however, expect brokers to pay them real much quicker and is the main reason why factor companies are as popular as they are. Dispatchers work for the carrier. Their job is to communicate for the carrier best interests and the benefits to assist them in scaling profits. Remember, the less profits the carrier make, the more he or she will eliminate. And guess what? He or she is going to get rid of first your services. Just being real. The first thing you want to do as a dispatcher after the carrier agrees to hire you is send them a dispatch carrier agreement to sign. This document is used to highlight your obligations as a dispatcher. When signed by the driver, this contract establishes the dispatcher compensation rates, roles, responsibilities, and the work relationship duration. That's the first thing you want to do when you building your business and when you find a driver that's gonna allow you to dispatch him or her, because there's a lot of us out there too running. Someone with truck on top of truck on top of truck in every lane. We running. I had to salute them all the time. This is an example of a dispatch carrier agreement. And I'm not gonna try to Google it right now. I'm gonna figure out on the next time how to go by adding what I need to add in. I don't have to work with me now. I'm gonna get it together. But yes, you want to make sure it includes. It's basically a contract between you and the carrier, and you want to make sure that it has all your date on there, your rate on there, your how long you plan on dispatching for them. Sure got the MC number on there. We're gonna get into all of that in detail, in better detail when we do the paperwork process. You can look up examples of the dispatch carrier. They easy to edit in PDF form, and they free. You got some that are free that you can just download and edit at your will. After agreeing upon and signing a dispatch carrier agreement, send the carrier a carrier profile package so you can start dispatching for them. Simple, right? Not so simple. Before you dispatch your first load, you need to do due diligence on your carrier and then the broker. You need to know what to say to communicate efficiently for the carriers you serve. What to say to make a carrier want to hire your company for services. If you are not familiar with the industry, you will need to be introduced to the terminologies. Taught how to keep up with the numbers of the truck so you can make more money for the truck. You will need to understand how to dispatch your carrier within compliance. So, all they have to worry about is driving safe. Let's discuss in further details the equipment, skills, and system to put in place to build an independent dispatching company. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of stuff you need to know in order to help run the truck. I guess to figure out You guys know I'm not. Y'all gonna have to get y'all over here. Cause it's a lot of stuff I want to show y'all. Not familiar with the industry. Um, yeah. Okay, remember, the brokers gets to cherry pick fees off the top. You as a dispatcher do not have that luxury. The carrier pays you directly. Therefore, you will need to always keep in the front of your mind when planning and organizing routes. The benefit of your carrier energy, time, and fuel costs. That means it's stuff you need to always consider when you booking loads. This is a double-edged sword because at the end of the day, know that the shipper is the one that decided and paid the rate. Right. Brokers and carriers go back and forth about the amounts of the amount for the broker fees. But truth be told, every side needs the other to survive. The driver's side will always be unbalanced, being that they put in the bulk of the work while taking the most off the cuts. We are in a market-driven economy. Large companies has and will always try to underbid and take out owner-operators. Understand, the market will be up and down. It is easy for an owner-operator to go broke overnight. But before sinking, remember, all unnecessary expenses will go first. As a dispatcher, you are in a position where you are responsible for critical tasks that can lead to little or no compensation for the carriers you represent. Assisting your carrier stay within compliance is one more way to secure longevity workmanship. To secure a longevity workmanship. The services you provide can be the difference between your carrier bringing home $5,000 to $8,000 a week or $8,000 to $10,000 a week. If you are in an endorsed line with even more, then even more. An endorsed line mean a specialty line, tankers, heavy haulers, and stuff like that, flatbeds. Your money hit different than just regular van trailers. So the job you do actually the weigh in on the kind of income that your broker, I mean your driver bring in. And this something else I got to get it together. I don't know. I was working on this so long before I started this video, and I was like, you know what? This was gonna be a hindrance, but it wasn't gonna be now tonight. So we'll work it out later. Brokers get paid time the load get delivered, but believe in holding drivers pay. True or false? False. Brokers do not get paid time the drivers get delivered. So ain't no need to call them folk harassing no folk about your driver money. It's a golden rule to dispatch for a driver for 48 hours before they sign on to your services. As a new dispatcher, driver gonna tell you, well, I need you to dispatch for 48 hours before I sign on. I don't know nothing about you. You better tell him I don't know nothing about you neither. But I know business. Business. You gonna give me something in black and white. Time to get my money. Like I'm telling you, trucking, you better be laced up to be dealing with some of these drivers. Like if you ain't from the streets, you gonna need to be from somewhere. You got some rough edges on to you, cause it's an ugly world out here. A dispatcher role is to call the shipper and make sure the broker is being honest. As a dispatcher, I need you to know that it's okay for you to call the shipper and make sure that the broker said that that load paying what he said he paying. You better call. No, that's false. As a dispatcher, you are to never call a shipper. You care what nobody tell you. You're never to call a shipper. No, that's not your job. It's really not. So next, let's see, we getting there, y'all. We getting there. Let me see. Yeah, I still got a little bit more time. Within my time frame. Careers in being a bona fide agent. Although easy to start up, dispatching companies are difficult to maintain. Dispatchers rarely have downtime. They start out working most of the time, full time with overtime to manage routes, coordinate load information, and handle several other administrative duties at one time. Dispatching requires phenomenal communication skills. A dispatcher's personality and professionalism is what attracts carriers the most. Just the way you deal with people. You got to know as a dispatcher, your job is service. So you got to be able to deal with people doing whatever they dealing with. Like they gonna have a lot of personalities and stuff go on. Life gonna life. And sometimes people don't take it out on the right people. Careers in being a bona fide agent. Will I make a lot of money dispatching trucks? This for the ones who want to build a business and want to live off trucking, dispatching full time. Now, this is only an example. Know that. But we're gonna get into further into that. We're gonna talk about some stuff. Talk about some stuff. I ain't gonna hold up too much time. I'm gonna try to get through what all I said I'm gonna get through with tonight within my time that I have left. Unless you dispatch for one of these big companies with a 9 to 5 schedule, a flatbed, tanker, heavy hauler, or refrigerator trailer, then no one can assure what kind of income you will make as an independent dispatcher. The number of trucks you dispatch at one time generates the income you bring in as an independent contractor. And new guidelines recently set for dispatchers single handedly cut the trucks one dispatch company can serve in half. Excuse me. We will discuss that in more details later. It left dispatchers able to make a decent living, but also kept the growth in a sense. That's what I was discussing earlier. When I say they changed the laws, yeah. So typically, let's say the broker put the load information on the load board that you will be able to call and make an offer on. You won't know the broker received $1,200 to get the load moved, but you will know how much you need for your client to be able to move the freight. You know this by calculating the miles that need to be driven divided by the cost the broker wants to pay. This will give you the cost per mile total. That's going to give you the total cost per mile that the broker is paying you, that they willing to pay you. Now, you and the broker agree on the rate of 780. The broker cut the fees 30 to 35%. The broker made 420 out the deal. Fees are ridiculous high at the present time in the industry. The main reason there's friction. This what's going on right now in the industry. And the dispatcher makes a percentage of the 780, which is 8%. So for making the phone call, you made $62.40. This is just an example of how the process works. Do the due diligence for the lane you serve. This one I need to figure out how to do my little chart. But I'm breaking down to you. I just broke it down to you. The broker gonna tell you how much he gonna pay you off the top. He already got his money out. She already got her money off the 1200. She gonna tell you how much she gonna pay. She already got her fees out, and you get your money off the fees that with the money that the carrier made. That's how dispatcher get paid, an independent dispatcher. If you charge 10%, Your fee will be $7 to $8. This is for van trailers. The profit come in the lane you serve also. Flatbeds bring in more profits and heavy haulers more than them. Makes sense. I'm giving you the example for a van trailer. That's the enclosed trailer. We're going to talk about all of that. But running a flatbed, heavy haulers, they make more than what the van trailer makes. So your percentage will be based off what they make. So the more your driver make, the more money you make. I was just working with a driver, and heavy hauler is all he do. Contractors. He signed on to a company, and I did a lot of the training hands on. Before the new FMCSA changes, you could multiply that 7 or 8. You could multiply that by 7 or 8 if that was how many trucks you was dispatching for. That would give you approximately 437 to 560, 46 a day. Remember, we spoke on the FMCSA cutting the number of trucks a dispatcher can dispatch in half. This is where we break down how that is done. The rule minimized growth, it did not stop it altogether. But keep in mind, FMCSA does not endorse dispatchers. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they don't. You are still allowed to dispatch multiple trucks. Now it's just a limit per lane per dispatch for dispatchers or for bona fide freight agents, as you are called as a dispatcher. Repeat, it is a limit per lane. If you get audited and found in violation, you will be fined up to $10,000 per occurrence. Yes, FMCSA will fine you up to $10,000 per occurrence if you get caught breaking the rule, dispatching too many trucks in the same lane. You have a cap on the lane in the region you can, the number of trucks you can dispatch in one lane or region. What was happening in the industry is that brokers would advertise as dispatchers and book the load, knowing that they would broker it also. This is what is called double booking. That's what they call double booking. If you accept money for a shipper, broker, or one carrier and provide the money to another carrier, then you are a broker. You need a license to accept payments for those entities. Lanes, we're gonna break. I'm gonna get into what are your lanes. Lanes are the different trailers. I had a question said, what are lanes? Lanes are the different trailers that you have. You got a flatbed lane, you got a tanker lane, you got a van lane. Van is your enclosed. You have a refrigerated lane, that's your groceries. Yeah, you have different they call lanes. Regions is your south region, your western, your north region. Lane is type of trailer. You have. That was a good question. Thank you. Profit potentials. If you are a freight dispatcher, dispatching one truck per month, your potential profit could be from 1,200 to 1,600 a month, at a rate of 8% of per load. With your truck making 15 to 20 per month. It is extremely important that dispatchers understand they get paid off the back end. One of the biggest facts of running a transportation business is that most people fail and come back. The planning must be meticulously planned financially. Dispatchers have monthly expenses after getting the business started to be the most benefits to the carriers. The carriers/drivers have to put money aside for maintenance. monthly insurance, and plan for the increase of the down payment renewal insurance that will be needed the next year coming up. It is the dispatcher job to make sure that the driver stay focused on putting a percent back per load. And we're going to talk about that next week also. Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I do tonight, and we're going to end that. And then next week, I'm going to make sure I fit in time to carry on until I complete it. But yes, as a dispatcher, when you because the ones that you dispatching for your significant other or your family member, I want you to learn to do that because that's gonna be the way that you survive per load. You got to learn to plan for your expenses, and per load, you got to put back each load. You got to put back for your maintenance, for your insurance. And if you put back a percentage for your, you could say a vacation. You could say your down payment renewal. You could put a down payment renewal and vacation. And that way, the percentage that you put back for your vacation, that'll be the money that you hit first. That'll be the money that you hit first when something happens because it's a want instead of a need. I'm going to break all of that down to you. Let me make sure I write that down. So when I come back with it, I can know. Yeah, because they're going to come back up. And that'll say, I'm telling you, that'll help save your company. I learned that and how important that is early on in my training. Um, even coming out the truck as a driver, and it just made so much sense. But as a dispatcher, that's gonna be your job um, to just help make sure that that is getting done. Besides dispatching for owner operators, structure your company accordingly. Educate yourself with Sam.com. Obtain and get approved for a UEI number and cage code to get approved for government contracts. As of April the 4th, 2022, the platforms changed all done numbers to UEI numbers generated by Sam.com. These type of registrations are on a totally different level, but is another option for you to utilize your dispatching company. Um, this just another way. Once you get your company up and running, this just another way for you to make money. It's way I'm training within myself. Just another way for you to have another avenue to generate income. The Dun and Bradstreet process is major to the business credit. They have what is called a Paydex score, and that's something like your three credit bureau. They run a scale where the great score is an 80 or above. Like you have the big three that report to your personal credit. They are big three that report to business credit. And Dun and Bradstreet, I'm sorry. Dun and Bradstreet happens to be the biggest one. The DNB number was previously unified with the Sam.com process, but has recently been separated. Sam.com is the official government website where you can find contract opportunities. Dun and Bradstreet links the business FEIN to your business DUNS number, and a DUNS number is register for federal aid and qualify for government contracts. It is also used to get business loans and show the business ability to uphold financial responsibilities. The number is used to track fund allocations across various demographics, basically showing the business credit work. Excuse me, I'm not so dry. But yeah, your DUN number is basically your government credit score. And it's good to build up on this number. Once you build your business, it's good to go ahead and start to building your government credit score also. Building this platform, one thing was learned. Building business credit is much easier than building personal credit. In 2024, there is no reason one should be doing business under their own social security number. If you build a business, build business credit and allocate your business. With your business credit, you can borrow without it having effects on your personal credit report. Most business loans qualify for more money than you would with what is called a customer loan, especially when you are not working with the best credit. How to start business credit. Open accounts in business name and pay on time. Griner, Queer, and Uline have been known to work well with entrepreneurs. Open accounts with all three will give your business three trade lines at once. Stand in good status with the trade lines. This is what business credit is. We'll open doors for you to qualify for business credit cards, building more credit, like Walmart, Office Depot, etc. And from there, major business credit cards opportunities will come. This is the goal. And these are the cards you can use to grow and expand the business. If the account you open, if the account you open do not report to Dunn and Bradford, that's fine. Just document the transactions. Call Dunn and Bradford. They will call and verify it, then put the transactions on your report manually. So if the accounts you open don't report to them, only thing you have to do is call them and they're gonna put it on now. But this is just how you build your business credit. These are ways that you can just build your business credit by buying your supplies and helping building your company. But when you build your credit, be legit with what you do. Y'all have too much other stuff going on. I promise you. Build something you can grow off of. And if you find a way to do it, find a way to grow with it. It is important that dispatchers understand how to contact shippers for brokers. It is important, but no, that ain't your job. As a dispatcher, that's not your job. A dispatcher employee is also the broker or shipper. A dispatcher employee is also the broker or shipper. True or false? That's false. That's so false. Dispatcher's work is based off percentage unless otherwise stated in the contract. And that is so true. That one is true. Now we want to talk a little bit about knowing your position. Knowing your position kind of long, but knowing your position after knowing your position is effective communication. And effective communication gonna be the last thing we do for tonight. Yeah, they're gonna be closing me out right there. I'm gonna come on with this right here. Cause y'all know I gotta early morning in the morning. Know your position. As a dispatcher, you need to always know your position. And next week, we're going to get more into the business aspect and more into the board. Know your position. To handle all of the carrier, driver, owner, operator, fleet owner, you will hear your carrier be called all these things. Carrier, driver, owner op. That we call it owner op, but it's an owner operator, a fleet owner. You doing when you get to this point right here, when you get to working with fleet owners, that's your goal right there. Excuse me, that's your goal right there. That's what you're talking about. That's why I'm putting this information out because I can't do it all. I can't. And you gotta be a blessing to be a blessing. So y'all be a blessing and like my video and subscribe. I ain't said it enough. That's what I got to get in the habit of because it's free. That's all I need you to do. I ain't asking for nothing unless you want it all at one time. You want to pay for it, then that's on you. But it's a blessing to be a blessing. That's all I'm saying. So just like the video and subscribe. So, um, to handle all a dispatcher position is to handle all the carrier sign on, broker, and load documentations, along with finding and planning the loads for the carriers. So, a dispatcher, your job is to find the load and to handle all the paperwork for the load, for the driver, for the load. So the driver can get paid, so you can get paid. Then assuring the bill of landing get delivered in a timely manner. So the carrier get compensated in a timely manner, so your company in turn get paid in a timely manner. And to plan the next route accordingly. Your company, your household, so your driver, whoever he is to you, related or not, your job is to get this paperwork in on time so your driver can get paid on time so you can see a profit on time. Everybody like to be on time when you playing with these trucks. It costs everybody a lot of money when we're not on time. You got to be on time. That's a problem for everybody. Time and crisis management are two of the main tasks of dispatchers. Handling the two alone will keep you extremely busy, and you will have a thousand more things to get done. The ability to plan well is an important element in staying effective doing it all. Side note, the ability to plan well is an important element of staying effective in the midst of the unexpected. The market is not in a good place right now, but will help fix itself if people stop accepting and hauling cheap freight. I can't say that enough. Ooh, I speak for so many drivers when I say the market will help fix itself if everybody would just stop moving for any and everything. Period. That's the whole purpose of me as a driver wanting to speak on this magnitude to other dispatchers, to grooming dispatchers from a driver's perspective. People taking, we got to stop falling for any and everything. We risking our lives, we leaving our families, we seeing some people get they get traumatized out there, and you in here playing with their life, accepting loads for nothing. No. Like you got, yeah, it get ridiculous out there. We're gonna get into all that. I ain't gonna take up too much more of our time tonight. We're gonna try to get through tonight. Knowing your position. Know your position. Again, this is a pay cycle. The shipper pays the broker pays the carrier, and the carrier hire the dispatcher. The dispatcher is paid by the driver, the carrier. Side note, if you decide to sign on a carrier who has a brand new authority, y'all got y'all pen and y'all paper? If you decide to sign on a carrier who has a brand new authority, write that down for when you start to grow your company. Carriers with brand new authority, the first 5 months will be difficult to secure loads. But after the first year or so, first 6, 7 months, I said year, but after the first 8, 9 months, say that, about everybody will work with them. Brand new authority though, brand new authority gonna be hard to work with them. Very, very hard. Know your position. New FMCSA regulations are important steps by the FMCSA to define the difference between legal freight brokering versus legal dispatch services. Do not say things to drivers you cannot provide. And you're gonna see what I mean later on when we started prepping these loads and you start drawing your drivers in and you know what I'm saying, want to sign them on. Don't tell a driver you provide loads. Dispatchers do not provide loads or have their own consistent lanes or are allowed to contact shippers. Remember, I am a driver. This is what I do. I'm not telling you nothing nobody told me. I studied, I had to learn the skill of dispatching the load bulls, what to do, but some of the stuff Hey, I can't do nothing but give it to you because it's what I do. It's what I do. Somebody ain't worrying about not now restriction. It's what we do. Brokers provide loads and have a MC number. I'm telling you this because I've seen some misinformation out there. I'm having some issues. I'm telling you this because I've seen some misinformation out there. Brokers provide loads and have MC numbers. I need you to know this. Dispatchers do not provide loads or have their own consistent lanes. I need you to know that because you got to be careful what you say to drivers. This when the drivers be laughing at you, and you don't know that they laughing at you. You think they laughing with you, and they ask you again, say, "Huh? What you say?" Just to hear you say it again. This is what dispatchers get fined for crossing the line for. Also, dispatchers do not have to have a MC number. You don't. As a dispatcher, you do not have to have an MC number. Dispatcher book loads off of load boards for the carriers. Remember, dispatchers are hired service. You are an independent contractor. You book loads off the load boards. You plan the routes for the carriers and you assist the carriers in whatever they need assisted in. That's your job as a dispatcher. FMCSA label dispatchers as bona fide agents and issue updated intern guidance as of November the 16th, 2022, to clearly distinguish the roles between bona fide agents and brokers as it relates to all brokers of transportation by commercial motor vehicle. To view definitions of brokers and bona fide agents, visit the Federal Registration website at www.federalregistration.gov. Bona fide agents are persons which are part of the normal organization of a motor carrier and perform duties under the carrier's direction, pursuant to the pre-existing agreement, which provides for continuing relationship, precluding the exercise of discretion on the part of the agent in allocating traffic between carriers and others. Normal organization. Bona fide agents are persons which are part of the normal organization. It's part of what the FMCA just changed. FMCSA is aware that entities are receiving confusing and misleading solicitations from service providers or third-party administrations by telephone, email, text, and or U.S. mail. This statement was quoted from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration website. This is the first thing owner operators learn after getting their authority clear. What I mean by that, after they get their authority clear, when you first get your authority, you get a bum rush with emails, offers, telephone calls, just solicitations of all type of services. Yet these were the primary ways for you to gain clients. Now these ways can get you fined up to $10,000. See finding clients. We're going to talk about more about that in finding clients. Because cold calling is what it's called. That's how a lot of dispatchers used to find drivers to sign on, cold calling. And it's unclear now. It's really unclear if cold calling is still allowed or is it one of the ways to get that $10,000 fine. It really is. It is due for more research on this one. I say that, and I've been looking into it for a minute. But I will keep you guys updated. Provided by the Federal Registration.gov to clarify the definition of the terms broker and bona fide agents in the Rule 40 CFR 371.2 in the Handbook of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. Has set guidelines, guidance to the direct roles. Any duties you do as a dispatcher that is considered out of your spectrum, or let's say that overstep the broker's job, you will be fined financially. Remember that. Any duties you do as a dispatcher that's out of your spectrum and that overstep the broker's job will lead you to a fine. Do not solicitate what is not within your bona fide agent procedures. It will cost you unnecessarily. Just stay within your job frame, basically. Let's break down this statement. Bona fide agents are persons which are part of the normal organization of a motor carrier and perform duties under the carrier's direction, pursuant to a pre-existing agreement, which provides for continuous relationship, precluding the exercise of discretion on the parts of the agent in allocating traffic between carriers and others. Pursuant means proceeding after, following. Pre-existing agreement which provides for a continual relationship means you need to have a agreement before allocating traffic. Means that you need to be signed on with that carrier before you start doing business for him. Before you start looking for his load and allocating traffic for him, you need to already have him signed on or her signed on to your business. The FMCSA is aware that entities are receiving confusing or misleading solicitations from services provided or third-party administrations by telephone, email, text, and or U.S. mail. Remember, that came off the website. So if it's misleading solicitations, that means you wasn't signed on before. That's why I say it's kind of confused to me, but it's right there. And it makes sense to me. So I'm here to simplify it. If it don't make sense, that's something else I need y'all to do. Leave it in the comments. Leave a comment. If it don't make sense, leave it in the comments. Ask a question. I don't mind. Make it make sense to me. If I ain't making it make sense to you, you make it make sense to me. Welcome. Furthermore, we're going to do some more knowing your position. Broker. This thread within both sides of the wheels, broker is the thread. That's what I was trying to say. The broker is the thread within both sides of the wheels of transportation. The broker helps both the shipper and the carrier achieve their goals. Brokering requires a license from the FMCSA. This license is $300 and must be approved, then remains inactive until the surety bond is purchased. A surety bond is a form of collateral insurance. The shipper wants the best rates possible, and the carrier wants the most efficient and profitable freight to stay in the lanes that provide the best loads for his or her equipment. Just like there are unethical dispatchers, there are unethical brokers also. There are unethical all kind of things in this transportation industry. Know that. Keep your eyes open. Some brokers will double broker. What is double brokering? You asked. It's when a trucking or logistic company sells work. That's the invoice when I say the work. That's the paperwork. To a carrier, and that carrier in turn sells it to another carrier, that one to another one, and the cycle continues 3 or 4 times over, leaving somebody without getting paid or even possible going out of business. It is also when a broker dispatch a load and turn around and broker that same load, getting paid twice off one load. Both are commonly seen and unethical. Both of them. Both of them are two different type of double brokering, and both of them are not right in the industry. And that's just what that is. Know your position. Don't let it happen. Double brokering affects small fleet owners and owner operators. New MCs are more likely to be double brokered than older ones, and you're gonna know how to look for that. Um, the more seasoned you get. Be careful with inbound calls. You haven't had time to do a deep dive. Don't just jump on anybody just call you to do business. Do your homework first on them. Don't be afraid to tell somebody to call you. Well, can I get a few minutes? I'm busy right now, or I'm in a meeting right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, in order for you to do what you need to do, for you to do business with them. Cause hey, all money ain't good money. I'm gonna break that down to you. Brokers using at Gmails or at Hotmails and not direct designated company email addresses are more likely to double broker. Just watch out for all details and rate confirmations before signing. Watch out for look for every double check your paperwork at all times. If they are quick to say that they do not offer quick pay, then that's a red flag. They wasn't planning on paying you anyway. If they be about to cut you off, don't want to offer quick pay, don't worry, don't do business with them. Go on to the next. Don't be afraid to turn down some money. I promise you, all money ain't good money. Make sure the BAL have no more than the carrier company and the person the product is coming from named on it. Ask questions. If something happened to the load, this is your contract. Something happened for the load, you don't want to be responsible for um wanna them want you to pay for it. So always double check your paperwork. Know your position. Do's and don'ts of being a bad or good dispatcher. Good dispatcher. Do understand if your drivers say no. That is a full statement. No means no. Just move on. Do get to know your carrier. There's nothing wrong with asking questions, but some drivers hate talking to dispatchers every hour on the hour, like I said. And I'm gonna show you the tools to where you don't have to talk to a driver every hour on the hour. Well, driver, you can leave space and room for a driver to call you if they need you. Cause trust me, they gonna call you if they need anything from you. A driver will not be afraid to call they dispatcher, and you shouldn't be afraid to call your driver. I'm just saying, once you give that driver that load, you don't have to micromanage that driver in that load. That part there is not gonna be your job. I ain't gonna tell you that. I ain't gonna groom you for that, and that's not just what I want you to do. Don't micromanage your drivers. Try not to call your drivers 10 or 15 times a day. Empathize what you have to in the first few conversations of the day. This is after the initial establishment. Meaning after the first week or so, you got to feel of your driver, what he like, what he got going on, you know what I'm saying? Then hey, work it out like that. Shoot, after the first 3 days. Know what is legal and illegal. Stay safety conscious. Don't wait on the driver to have to tell you everything. Some will feel like they teaching you and don't like teaching. Senseless, but it's true. They shouldn't have to tell you everything within law. If you booking their loads and you know what's going on, you educated, you up to date. They don't have to ABC you verbatim every time they talk to you. You should know basically a lot of their laws too. This your job. So you don't send them into the blind, acting like as if just because you ain't in the truck, it don't affect you. Everything happened to that truck affects you too. Understand that. The success to logistics is always in the numbers. Know your position. New FMCSA regulations. Good dispatchers. Work with your driver. Anything can happen on the road. Issues and problems will arise all the time. Second time you've been hung up the phone, stuff gonna happen. Know and be honest about the weight of the load. Dispatchers have the habit of lying about this and rounding it off. Be careful and direct. Be careful and direct about the weight of the load. Mean you don't have to lie about what the load weight. Don't, cause 9 times out of 10, time they get to the nearest weight station, they're gonna be weighing it again. Some drivers just go through the weigh station just to go through. Drivers calculate the weight of the load to know how much it's going to take on the fuel. Don't be untruthful about the weight. Most of the time, the driver will take the load anyway. It just builds unnecessary friction, and that unnecessary friction that can be avoided and sometimes problems down the line. This is part of the job that helped the driver reach his profit margin. So don't lie about the fuel because that's how he helped balance his truck. Like everything matters. Wake up and get prepared as if you are going to a company job. Don't handle business as if you are running a home business. Meaning, when you get up and get ready to run your business, get up, wash your face, and brush your teeth. Don't get up and sit up at the side of your bed and go to calling people about nobody load and you sleep. And no, don't do that. Present yourself. Your presence speak for itself. Your presence speak volume when you don't even realize you're speaking it through your voice. Your presence speak volumes when you don't have to open your mouth in reality, in real life. So your phone presence speaks for you and for the way that you feel on the phone. Do business, handle business as if you are handling business. Pay attention to the driver's license and DOT medical card expiration dates. Remind them of said dates. You may never realize the impact of something so small, but drivers really do forget these things, and we'll appreciate you for noticing. Pay attention to your driver expiration date on his driver's license, kind of sort of just remind them, just to see, what I'm saying, stay up on everything because he out on that road. He running it. Don't run your truck off of Google Miles. Never run your truck off Google Miles. Google Miles do not calculate truck miles. It is set up for four-wheelers. Expect and plan for your driver to drive under the 65-mile limit. Even if your driver don't drive under 65-mile limit, even if he keep his foot or she keep her foot in it, you still plan for that. Traffic gonna happen, accidents gonna happen, they're gonna run into construction zones. It's gonna happen. It's part of trucking. Even if he or she don't, you presume he or she will and plan accordingly. Meaning, if they don't ride the speed limit, you plan their trip as, and if you planning their trips, you plan the trip as if they do ride the speed limit. Never tell a driver he or she can be at a certain location at a certain time by what Google said. You will need to add an extra hour and a half, if not two, to the Google advice for the speed of an 18-wheeler versus a four-wheeler. I recommend you at least add an hour and a half, hour 30 minutes if you're using Google Miles. Ask for and never put up a fight to get or give variable evidence. Never put up a fight if your driver asks for information or paperwork. And never be afraid to ask for it. It's business. What we got attitudes for? We ain't got time for no attitude. We too professional for that. It's called holding your professionalism. You're going to run into enough attitudes. You're going to have to move around. There's too much money out there to be dealing with attitude or to be giving it, having the energy to give it. Do not make the brokers or carrier feel irrelevant or insignificant. Remember, you can make people feel a certain type of way and want them to do business with you. Remember that. You can't handle people in a certain tone and then turn around and think that they're going to help you prosper. It don't work like that. It might work for a little while, but you can't handle people a certain way and feel like they work for you. No, they work with you. That's a difference. Remember, dispatching is a business to business service. It's saturated and at times a want, not a need. Never over leverage your power. That's what dispatchers do. Dispatchers get the dispatching trucks and we can't tell them nothing as drivers. They want to tell you what's wrong with your truck, what's going on with your truck, and what you need to do to your truck in order to keep done, to keep going. It don't work. It don't work like that from a dispatcher a dispatcher standpoint. Let me get that together. I'm trying to watch the time too, y'all. I know we've been here a minute, y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I promise you, I appreciate y'all just to be able to sit here and to get through with this. All my supporters, y'all been pushing me. Y'all been waiting on me. Haters, y'all too. Hey, I appreciate y'all too, cause every little bit helped me. I promise you. But remember, you're in a business to provide a service. So never make your driver feel like they need you. They do need you, true enough, because they wouldn't have you there for your service if they didn't need you. But just remember, they working with you and not for you. Remember, they can get their check without you. You got to go get another one and replace theirs. So we're going to carry on, y'all, because we're getting ready to kind of close up, get to our last little couple of slides. Know your position. While building your business, keep in mind positive self esteem is the foundation for success. Commit to being successful. Associate with successful people and study being successful. Avoid negativities. Avoid negative energy and under no circumstances associate with negative people. Protect your mental at all costs. Negative people are toxic. They destroy. They do not build. Excuse me. Sometimes you will have to choose this, that, or the other, or your business. People will whine, complain, and blame, then still try to pull you down quicker than you can pull them up. Don't feel bad. Choose you and let them go. I'm gonna say that again. Choose you. Whatever it is going on around you, the negative people, I won't even indulge in whatever good or bad that went on around me, whether bad to the good on this platform, because we're gonna get with that, get to all that on the vibe, baby. We gonna vibe with that because I know the vibe was gonna be over here, and I know y'all gonna be over there. So we ain't gonna do all that. We gonna stay focused, and we gonna handle business when it's time to handle business. We gonna show y'all how to run these trucks. We gonna get in these do lists. And hey, we gonna release some stuff and show y'all what's really going on out here in the trucking world, because the negativity gonna hit. It's gonna hit. And when I say it gonna hit, it gonna hit. It always hit, but you're gonna have to know how to push through it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to know how to keep it moving. And you're gonna have to know how to know that, hey, haters, everybody got a job. They're gonna be there. So you're gonna have to keep doing what you're doing when it comes to getting that money. And hey, let everybody do their job. And believe in yourself. That's the next one right there. Believe in yourself. Smile at yourself. At your reflection. Try to think cheerful, optimistic, and open minded. Do what is best for you. Write down your goals and your visions. Do what is best for you. Read, watch videos, do something every day that brings you closer to your goal. Congratulate yourself for taking positive steps towards a more successful future. That's what I want you to do. Most importantly, believe in yourself and do what's best for you. You got to do that, because whatever I bring to you on here, you have to know I'm coming from being a truck driver first. I'm a groom and I'm gonna grow into this dispatching, and I want you to groom and grow with me. But I'm gonna have to give you everything from a trucker's perspective, because hey, I got mine from the rooter to the tutor. I got it. And nobody, hey, y'all gonna hear the story. It's on the other platform. It ain't on this one. I ain't gonna keep putting it out back to back on this one. Here we go. Effective communication. Communication, communication, communication. Now that you know your position, it is time to put a grasp on the importance of your communicating skills. Improving your communication can be helpful in more than one way, in more than one area of your life. As a dispatcher, you will specifically plan your driver's trip for them. Obstacles will arise on a big and small magnitude. It is your job to develop strategies and communicate professionally to get the problems solved. A large component of your job is to make sure that the driver's business get handled while they focus on the safety of the road. You never know when you may call your driver and a his or her life flash in front of them situation has just happened. Understand, your driver will have good days, but will also have days where two or three situations may happen. It is just part of the industry. You will grow to learn that dispatching is no simple task, just like driving isn't. So respect should be mutual, and that's what I meant. The respect should be mutual. But honestly, you will deal with some of the rudest, worst attitude, funny smelling people you have ever met. Not that you can smell them, but you sure might not want to by the approach or their mannerism. Some people just funny acting for real. Do not let it bother you. Keep your professionalism. Guess what? Every action do not deserve a reaction. Don't let one 10-minute phone call dictate the rest of your day. Or don't let one interaction trigger over from your attitude or mannerism make dealing with your company a hassle, slowing revenue up for you or your carrier. Meaning, don't let one person make you mad and let your attitude just slow up your money, your driver money, and let people don't want to deal with you as a company. Make it easy to deal with you, even when it's hard to deal with them. You know, all that money the same. Keep it moving. You're gonna have time to be abrasive. You're gonna have time to be nice and nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody wanna have their chest poked out in this industry. Because they dealing with the biggest of the biggest of the biggest of, everybody. You don't take all that all the time. Not to handle business. It's called effective communication. And it's a way to communicate when it comes to business. I don't care where you come from, how you would talk to do it, it's a way to handle business. The way you communicate weighs in on your performance of a business person and the business person you display in or how your company grow, perform, or scale. Allow your knowledge to speak for you. You will have your time for abrasiveness. Don't overdose in it. It is important to maintain openness. You may be surprised how far having open communication, understanding, and some patience will take your business. Yes, that patience plays a key role in your position also. There's something a driver can never give full focus to being behind the wheel. I said that's something a driver, as a driver, will tell you that is something a driver can never get, and that's gonna be the secret to being a dispatcher for an owner operator, for whoever you dispatching for. That's the key. You got the patience to sort and to find and to cipher and to speak when the driver don't have the time. Your driver too busy driving. Because in reality, your driver out there fighting for his or her life at every moment. He or her is out there. They ain't got the time to be negotiating for no lows. That patience that you have to find those lows that's gonna actually make a difference in that profits, that's gonna be the reason why the driver will keep having the patience to find that profit, making that patience worth it, make it worth it. Because they can stop and go through two, three little loads they sell and find them something to move, to keep their equipment moving. But can they stop and find something that's worth moving? That's worth that profit. So you got to keep your communication, effective communication open. As a dispatcher, it is important that you stay on top of every aspect of the load. That mean a bulk of your time will be talking on the phone. You will call your driver and your driver will call you. Same goes for the broker. I mean, you're gonna be on the phone from the driver to the broker, from the broker to the driver. Because your driver ain't gonna they ain't gonna be no, that's your job. They ain't gonna want to deal with that. You will not just call them, but you will have lengthy conversations with them at times. Oh, yeah. By the way, When negotiating with brokers, always ask about detention pay in the beginning and go ahead and cut them loose if they don't pay it. They don't value your driver time. That's somebody that they ain't gonna tell you. Ask in the beginning of the conversation when you talking to your brokers about their detention pay. Do they pay the detention pay? If they say no, then just go ahead and keep it moving because now you're wasting your time and your driver time. And ain't nobody got time to waste. Not a broker really having fun. They don't value your driver time. It's okay to keep it moving. It's an ugly game in the trucking world. You are going to always have the big major trucking companies keeping their prices lower to try to break down the independent owners. And you will always have the brokers that may want to avoid and won't budge on the fees they set by cutting more off the carrier cut instead of theirs. Remember, stay focused. The word no is a complete sentence. That means most of the time the brokers ain't gonna argue with you. They want to get that load moving. Once you tell them no, they gonna hang up quicker than you anyway. I mean, you negotiate a time or two, and you gonna see how we get into it when we get to calling brokers and get on our board. But you negotiate a time or two, but then if they ain't budgeting for what you want or what you need, keep it moving. It's a whole lot out there. Being a dispatcher, you will deal with clients and customers from different backgrounds. It is important that you keep the appropriate tone. Side note, tone. We as individuals bring different valuable moves within the uniqueness we tote. These are for the ones that want to build a dispatching company and want to work with drivers on different scales. These are the ones who want to build and work with fleets. Empathy is at the root of all emotions. When you can empathize with a person, you have a common understanding of what that person is going through. That in turn create a connection where some kind of feelings were invested in. Be careful. Ask questions, but don't become too invested in personal conversations. Legends dispatching on the dispatching side, we use text communication at the majority. People will play on your emotions and use fear or empathy as a tool. Then expect no effects or feel some type of way when they can't control your emotions. Next, we will discuss a few tools any dispatcher may need to keep in mind at all times. And when I say that, I mean just keep it business. Because people will play on your emotions, they will play on your gender. They just people play all kind of ways to get over. And remember, you're running a business. You're running a business. Side note, effective communication is important to have in business and in life. Legend Dispatching was built on a non judgmental environment. Yet, we understand that we work with real people and not everyone think the same. Some tools, skills, and advice will be of value to some and not so new to others. Applause to those that are in life. May we ask for your patience during any time of boredom. Some stuff will be said will pertain to you and some won't. We aim not to directly point out actions unless actions ask. Some people learn by being told verbatim, some not. We are established to groom and motivate within the trucking industry. We want you to be equipped with the tools to know how to get the load delivered and communication skills to overcome obstacles as they arise so you and your carrier can continue with an efficient day. There will always be unfairness. Be a sharp when you need to be by staying on top of your duties. Always take the honest and ethical way out. Despite trying to take the right road, sometimes the ends just have to justify the means. Your ethical decision will be guided by your values, your conscience, and your sense of right and wrong. Remember that in everything you do, your values, it's gonna be weighed. Your conscience gonna play on you. You might have to ask for forgiveness sometime in this industry. It's life. Effective communication. Not everyone, but understand someone may need to hear this. Be careful what you respond to. You're running a business. Remember that. Respond to the message and never the package it comes in. Don't be misled if you find a person has been gifted with an attractive appearance. Do not assume because he or she look good and are well groomed or grammatically correct that he or she are not a handsome or cute hypnotic hypocrite. Do not allow yourself to be diverted by a person's appearance or deliverance. Listen between the lines and assess what is being said non-verbally also. Ask questions and get a clear understanding. You do not have to agree with a person to listen and hear them out before reaching a final judgment. Gauge all communication to the fullest and how likely it is to the effects of the longevity of the B2B relationship, the business to business relationship. Remain clear, suitable, and transparent as possible within all business communication. I mean, always remain transparent and clear in what you say. Don't be afraid to give clarification if you misunderstand something within a conversation. And remember to gauge all communication to the longevity of the business to business relationship you want to grow. In other words, don't let a person divert you to reacting to what's going on now. That's what I mean by that. Don't just remember that you grow in a business. Everything don't deserve a reaction. Okay, y'all, we on our last little slides. Dispatchers are problem solvers all day and just about every day. True. Two, this dirty world of trucking don't care who get ate. True, true. Listening versus listening skills. Okay, y'all, we on our on our last 3 or 4. This it right here. This it right here. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Like and subscribe to the video. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for staying to the end. For those that who stay, I greatly appreciate y'all. I just had to let it out this way because I know y'all been waiting on me and I've been doing other stuff and I got other stuff going on. So, hey, it's a blessing to be a blessing, like I said. So I had to let this out just a way. But if you want this information all at once, you still can go to the website and I'm going to put that in the link and you can download it. And it's not expensive, $29.99 for my time. So now we are listening versus listening skills. And I'm gonna see y'all next week on this same time. That's how we're gonna work that until we get this stuff where it need to be. The first steps are always the hardest. Once you get a few good brokers and carriers on your team, treat them right and grow from there. That's what we've been talking about all night. How you treat your drivers. Side note, it's hard for some drivers to consider hiring dispatchers mentally. They find it difficult to digest paying somebody to tell them how to drive properly when the person don't know how to drive a truck, period. Educate yourself. Know what your business have to offer and stand on what you offer. That's how you're going to get people to deal with you. Educate yourself in the industry, knowing the industry terminology, knowing what you offer, and standing on what you offer. And not lying about what you offer, being transparent. Don't offer nothing. That's why I say don't tell drivers you own lanes. Because once you start researching and dispatching and seeing different stuff and dispatching and growing your company, you're gonna see some of the same stuff over and over again. And a lot of dispatchers say how they run lanes, this, that, and the third. And your wording is everything in this business. Listening versus listening skills. Being a truck driver, I've learned that the world is so diverse. Everything around us boxes us off. We are separated by the views we have, the places we visit, work locations, thoughts on gender identity, and all. Just about every part of our lives separate us into this category or that. Don't assume your views are shared by the person you are communicating with. Cultural diversity is the modern world. It is. That's the everyday living. In modern world, most people are poor listeners. They can hear but lack the skill of listening. Even when thought to be listening and paying attention, only half of what was said will be remembered. Good dispatchers keep in mind the life frame of the relationships built. This is how they build and keep a strong book of business. Being successful at this will being successful at this will constantly have you will constantly have to know you will constantly have to use your listening skills. My bad. In order to be a good dispatcher, you will constantly have to use your listening skills. And I am tripping. I really hope. Sorry, y'all. I'm at the very end. It's good. I think I messed up very bad. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and we'll check that out later. I think I did. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see. So, um, yeah, talking about the diverse world. In modern world today, most people are poor listeners. They can hear but lack the skill of listening. Even when thought to be listening and paying attention, only half of what was said will be remembered. Good dispatchers keep in mind the life frame of the relationship is built. That's what I meant about everything don't deserve reaction. Like you just got to know that, hey, I'm trying to keep you around for business. I ain't trying to deal with your attitude or give you attitude back. I'm trying to get this money. Keep it moving. Listening versus listening skill. You will not only need to listen, but know the difference between hearing and listening. Hearing, a process involving the vibration of sound waves. Listening involves paying close attention to and making sense of what was heard. Listening is important to your business as a dispatcher. Be prepared to listen, avoid distractions, and take notes. If you do not listen well, you will not understand what you hear and may pass along or take in the wrong understanding. When being spoken to, do nothing else. Learn to listen and learn. So I wasn't paying attention to my notes, and I got said one of my mics was out. So if I don't know which part was out, but we'll figure it out and we'll straighten it out. And if not, hey, that's what your replay is for. I don't know. I just hope it wasn't so. I hope it wasn't a lot that you guys missed. Or whatever. But listening is important to your business as a dispatcher. Be prepared to listen, avoid distractions, and take notes. If you do not listen well, you will not understand what you hear and may pass along or take in the wrong understanding. When being spoken to, do nothing else. Learn to listen and learn. As time passes, your concentration will sharpen and conversations will come naturally to divert in a needed direction. When working on listening skills,
Resist background distractions. Practice what is called active listening. Give your undivided attention to the speaker in a genuine effort to understand what is being said. Besides knowing how to listen and use listening skills, always be organized. Have ideas of what you want to say already organized on paper or in your head before making contact. Speak logistically. When communicating about your services, build up a compelling case about how the need of your service benefit the carrier. Just show the need, just show how the need is important to their business. Nervousness is normal. Nourish yourself with knowledge. Knowledge builds confidence. Tailor your message towards the audience at hand. Audience meaning whoever being spoken to, the carrier, the broker, or the driver. Mainly the driver. You won't overconversate too much with the brokers. Take listening seriously and commit yourself to becoming a better listener if you are not already a good one. Understanding. Starting a freight dispatch business is easy. True or false? I'm going to say true. Starting a business is easy. Getting the drivers to work for it is the hardest part. Starting a business is easy. Obtaining the drivers to work for is the hardest part of running a freight dispatch business when you don't know it. The dispatchers that last the longest in the business are the ones that burn the most bridges. False. You do not want to burn bridges as a dispatcher. That's something you do not want to do. You need your drivers in order to make your money. You need your brokers in order to make money for your drivers. You don't want to burn too many bridges. And you might want to grow from a dispatcher to a broker. And you want to, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to, that's something you don't want to have to deal with. Yeah, that is the end. So we did get to complete. That's how it took us 2 hours to complete the first half. We probably do it in three halves. That's what it looked like it's gonna end up being doing. Probably four, because I know once we get on that load board, that's gonna be probably a day within itself. Just do a whole day within on the load board. But I wanna thank you guys. I wanna thank you guys. I wanna thank you guys for joining. And that's it for tonight. Till next time. Stay prayed up.